Hi there, welcome to Tarotland Soap Opera. Today I'm going to do a reading for Capricorn energy. And like usual, we're going to do two rows. The top row is going to be high vibe Capricorn energy. The bottom row is going to be a little more worldly, shadowy Capricorn energy. We all have our dualistic nature. We have our more loving, hopeful, believing nature. We have our more kind of worldly, fearful, insecure nature, and we can get caught up in things of the world and kind of our codependency or just lack of self-belief in ourselves. So some people could be struggling within themselves and kind of going back and forth, but at any given moment in time, some people in their Capricorn energy are ready to move forward in life differently. The reason for their reading is the Hangman, which is about being enlightened to some truth or healing or maturing or looking at life differently, expanding your perception of yourself and how you view yourself and how you view the world. And, there's going to be other people in the world. We all kind of learn lessons in life and heal and grow and mature at different times in our life. So, sometimes we've learned some lessons and freed ourselves from some of the things that can kind of manipulate us, and other people haven't freed themselves from some of those things. So, with the Hangman being the reason for the read, it's also the reason why the reading came out. And sometimes the Hangman can mean that we felt stuck. What do we do when we feel stuck? And you could have dealt with some other people who either felt stuck, but they didn't choose to take action in this high vibe way, maybe weren't motivated and inspired to see the truth. Some people are motivated, because shadowy Capricorn is represented by the devil, which is our more worldly nature, fearful, materialistic, looking to other things outside of ourselves to make us feel better or to make us happy, instead of realizing that what will make me happy is to free myself from the things that manipulate me, to be free to live my authentic life from a place of peace and love and feeling balanced within myself. And high vibe Capricorn, I view as the King of Pentacles, where you put in that work and effort to learn lessons in life, to free yourself, to heal, to grow, to mature. And sometimes we could have dealt with other people who weren't willing to free themselves from the things that manipulate them. If that's their own fear, their own insecurity, other people in their life who manipulate them, and you didn't want to stay stuck where you didn't want to stay stuck in your own life, and you didn't want to stay stuck with other people who aren't willing to free themselves, because underneath that is being able to move forward, because you did take this inspired action to look at life differently, to connect in maybe with your emotions and your intuition and love to guide your decisions versus like the fear or the insecurity. And because of that, you got out of your more egoic nature, because this 5, 6, and 7 of Wands is Leo energy, which can be about being in our ego. And you took that inspired action to free yourself from the things that caused you mental conflict. And if part of that was dealing with other people who are kind of stubborn and unwilling to look at life from any other perspective or try to see things from your perspective, that's like, I wish you peace, but I'm moving on. I'm not going to stay stuck. Whatever manipulates you doesn't manipulate me. So until you free yourself from those things, I'm going to keep moving on, because I have looked at life from a higher perspective and I have a dream. And I've seen the truth that it is about continuing to do this work to free yourself from the things that manipulate you, to keep having hope and faith and belief in your dreams, and realizing there's some people that you need to hold back from. Take the lessons you've learned from them, to not work together with them anymore in a foundation, because you've seen this truth and come in this insight and understanding, maybe that it's supposed to be all about love, and they could still think it's more about pride or ego or themselves or being defensive or materialism or something. And you know your worth and value. And from the 4 of Pentacles to the 9 of Pentacles, it's taking back the 5 of Pentacles, which can be, I don't want to feel left out in the cold. And if there's other people acting kind of prideful or egotistical, that's their free will choice. But I'm not going to let someone who's acting in an unjust, unfair, unloving way keep me stuck. I'm going to give myself the things that I wish people would have given me to not feel left out in the cold. We can have people who throw us under the bus, kick us to the curb, unkind, unjust. Are we going to stay there? Sadly, some people did. It kept them staying stuck in their ego. And you decided, you know what? I'm going to choose to know my own worth and value. I'm going to give myself the things that I wish people would have given me to keep moving forward, believing in my dreams. And sadly, some of the other people maybe gave up on believing in their dreams, maybe gave up on love. I was like, well, that's your free will choice, but I am not going to keep staying stuck. So we have the Five of Wands, the Eight of Cups, the Four of Cups in reverse, the World card, the Knight of Cups, the King of Pentacles, and the Four of Wands. So you walked away from something that was causing you mental conflict. You also could have walked away from other people who have a lot of mental conflict or inner conflict. And the Five of Wands is Leo energy. And you yourself previously could have had a lot of inner conflict about loving yourself, believing in yourself, letting go of something and people in your life that you feel don't take that cup of love to love and believe in themselves. And it's like, if that's how you want to live your life, you can keep living your life that way. But I'm not going to keep trying to offer love to someone. I mean, we can always offer love to people, but I'm not going to keep investing in you emotionally if you're unwilling to take that cup of love. That's your free will choice. And the World card is, I've learned lessons from this life experience. I've learned that some people have a lot of inner conflict about being more independent, because the Eight of Cups walks to the Nine of Cups to be more emotionally independent. They've offered love to themselves to deal with their own inner conflict about moving forward in life, to free themselves from the past so that they can move forward into the next phase of life. I'm willing to deal with the truth that some people have inner conflict about being more independent in the world, loving themselves, aligning with their more loving, hopeful, believing nature. Well, they can keep living their life like that. But I have a dream, and I want to be in emotionally fulfilling relationships with other people who are emotionally independent of their past and are out of their ego and their inner conflict or their competitive nature. You could have dealt with some people who are very prideful and competitive in the world, and that can be what drives and motivates them more than love. Or they can't decide who they want to move forward with. It's like, okay, well, until you figure it out, I'm done. Or if you're a prideful, stubborn, competitive person, maybe even in a workplace, I don't want to work here anymore. Until I'm going to go find the people in the world who are moving forward in hope and faith and belief, who have learned to offer love to themselves, to free themselves from the things that manipulate them, to come together with others in joy and celebration. And if other people haven't made that free will choice to choose to heal, because I view the King of Pentacles, again, like I said, I think, as high vibe Capricorn energy, where we can align with our more worldly Capricorn energy, where we're kind of caught up in, represented by the devil, all our fears, all our insecurities, our more worldly nature, our competitive nature, our materialistic nature, thinking if we invest in these things of the world, it'll make us happy. We don't have to do love. And so it can just be people who are caught up in the illusion, because the Eight of Cups walks away from the Seven of Cups, which can be people who are caught up in the illusion of the world. And that's the most important thing to them. Love isn't as important. They're kind of tipped out of balance, where the things of the world are more important to them than love. And it's like, I'm not caught up in, it's to be balanced. I want these things of the world, but I also want to be in loving, nurturing, supportive relationships where there's justice and fairness and balance. And some people are willing to sacrifice that because they're more consumed by the things of the world. Life's about getting balance within yourself. We have this dualistic nature. We're an emotionally complex human being. And some people, in the Seven of Cups, that's Scorpio energy. Some people, the way they harness their Scorpio energy, they don't want to be in deep, meaningful relationships. They have inner conflict about that. They'd rather be in more emotionally shallow, superficial relationships. And again, that's fine. They can live their life whatever way they want. And we probably all live our life in a way that makes us feel balanced. We can't move forward in life in a way we're not ready for. But if you're ready for more deep, meaningful relationships, you're more willing to be more independent in the world. You're willing to get out of your ego, to admit that you have lessons to learn, and you're motivated and inspired to keep healing and growing and maturing and facing your fears and insecurities to become all that you can be in the world. You probably want to be in relationships with other people who are motivated to keep healing and growing and maturing instead of staying stuck in their ego or their defensive nature or caught up in the illusions of themselves or the world or their fear or whatever it is. And so I think the high vibe people are doing this work within themselves to align with their more hopeful, believing nature and to expand their perception of themselves and the world around them. And, we can feel betrayed because other people weren't choosing to choose love or to be more just and fair or grow or heal or mature. But we don't want to stay in feeling betrayed, because that's the queens can talk about how we think and how we feel. And we don't want to keep feeling betrayed or in that negative energy. So it's just to see the truth that everybody has lessons to learn in life. And the people who've done the work within themselves to free themselves from the things that manipulate them and stop them from being more loving and warm and giving and just and fair and more emotionally mature, they have to do that within themselves. And so we just see the truth of it. Everybody is where they're at, and the truth sets us free. So I see the truth. You might be defensive. You might be kind of more attached to the world. You might want to stay single, maybe like to be in more transactional type relationships. And I want to be in a relationship with someone who's independent of their more fearful, insecure, materialistic nature to do equal give and take with me in a relationship, to act with character and integrity. I don't want to be in a relationship with people who are kind of selfish, who want to be in a relationship with me, but it's more of a transactional relationship. Well, I'll give you this for that, because I'm defensive to opening up. I'm defensive of freeing myself from the things that manipulate me, that keep me from being more open or authentic or loving. It's like, well, you do you, and I'm going to go find the people who are more independent, who do want to do more equal give and take, who are more balanced within themselves and have let go of their more worldly nature or lack mentality or fearful nature to be willing to do more equal give and take in a relationship. And as you detach from an old cycle and you make offers to people that you meet in the world, it could be getting the King of Pentacles, also can represent the things of the world, like jobs, friendships, relationships. I think you're going to go invest in the people in the world and the employers in the world or business partners in the world who you think are on the same page as you, because you were enlightened to the fact that some of the people you had either been working with, in friendship with, or romantic relationship with, they might not be willing to get out of their ego to work with people in a more emotionally mature, stable, grounded, balanced, inspired way. And I think high vibe people wish people peace. It's like, love is what helps us heal. I wish you peace. I hope it works out for you. Everybody is where they're at. Everybody's learned different lessons in life. Some people are more open to love than other people. Some people are still defensive or in their ego or caught up in the world. We're in different places. I wish you peace. I'm going to go invest in the people who I think I can come together with in joy and celebration, who are on the same page as me. So, what's going on for the people who might harness a more worldly, shadowy Capricorn energy? These cards here came out kind of in the middle of the deck, so we have two reasons for the reading. We have the King of Swords and the Knight of Swords and the Two of Pentacles. So some people, the Knight of Swords is Gemini energy, and Gemini energy is about what we align with within ourselves. We have free will. We can choose to align with our more loving, hopeful, believing nature, getting more balance within ourselves, or we can align with our more worldly nature. And some people, a knight has learned less lessons than a King of Pentacles, because in tarot we have the pages and the knights and the kings and the queens. So you've just learned some more lessons than some other people have learned. And some people, the truth might be that some people are still juggling which Capricorn energy they're going to harness within themselves. They haven't picked a path. And the high vibe people have picked a path. It is about taking action in truth and love. And other people are like, I want to be in loving relationships, but I don't know if I want to be more loving or just or fair or authentic. I kind of like to present myself that way, but I still kind of can take action being more, lazy or fearful or insecure or bossy or controlling or self-centered, or still wanting to kind of make the world and the things of the world or materialism more of a priority in my life. And they just haven't picked a path yet for some of them. And then there's some people who just juggle. They like to get in a relationship and then they don't really want to invest in really bringing the dream into reality. Well, if I were to really bring the dream into reality, I have to walk away from my options and the competition, and I would have to make a commitment to, to one thing. And I kind of like to keep my options open because the Seven of Cups can be having options. The Five of Wands can represent the competition. And some people just aren't willing to commit. And they're not willing to commit to love. Maybe because they have fear of love. I don't know. And some people do. Some people are so fearful of being hurt that they could think love is optional, right? Can't we just be in a relationship and, I can kind of indulge myself in a relationship and still operate from my pride and ego and defensive nature? And won't you still kind of keep indulging me in the relationship anyway? But loving people and warm, supportive, encouraging people want to be in relationships with people who are like themselves. And if you're not there yet, then I wish you peace. But you're going to have to go juggle someone else and not really invest in someone else, because it's not going to be me. So the only card that they have showing is the Star card, which in shadow can be people who are much more motivated. Their dream is to still maybe more about the world. I want to look like a shining star in the world. I'm really in my competitive energy and my egoic nature, and I'm more driven to want to have people look up to me, admire me, more than I might be interested in love. And even if I do love people, if I don't think that I'm going to have enough of the status or the image or the attention that I want, I'm willing to sacrifice that, because what's more important to me is how people view me in the world, or to have the status or image or power or something. And another way the Star card can be read, shadowy Aquarius energy. You don't have to be dealing with an Aquarius. It's just how they harness their Aquarius energy. Because you probably harness high vibe Aquarius energy in addition to harnessing high vibe Leo, Pisces, Cancer, Capricorn, Aries, In high vibe Aquarius energy, you still believe in your dreams that it's supposed to be about growing and maturing and healing, stepping outside. High vibe Aquarius is willing to step outside of societal norms, get out of your ego and your competitive nature to become independent of your more worldly competitive nature or self-centered nature, to grow and mature and heal yourself so you can work cooperatively with people in a relationship. But some people harness shadowy Aquarius energy within themselves, regardless of what sun sign they are, and they're kind of more about themselves. And they're not willing to step outside of societal norms. Their whole life is about the world. They don't want to shine their authentic light. They're not willing to give up their prideful, egotistical nature. They could be people who think, when I get in a relationship with people, everyone else should put aside their pride and ego, but never me. I'm the star of the show. Isn't everybody supposed to indulge me in the world? You know, some people are very egotistical and self-centered and think everybody else should make them the center of their universe, and everybody else should give up on their dreams, and everybody should make this person the center of their universe. So I think the shadowy people are hiding that high vibe. People who harness this energy in a high vibe way have left their life. They don't want people to know that high vibe people left their life, because these people are making the free will choice not to harness these energies in a high vibe way. The devil, the king of coins, like the king of pentacles, and the fool. Other people had their fears and insecurities and self-limiting beliefs, but they had hope and faith and belief in their dreams, and they looked at life from a higher perspective. And they weren't willing to keep staying in a relationship with someone who doesn't want to deal with their fears and their insecurities or their prideful nature, or be willing to admit that maybe they have some healing or growing or maturing to do. But the other people were. They didn't want to keep staying in some negative energy or being manipulated by the world or caught up in their addictions or their fear or their insecurity. And the other people decided, I want to get balance within myself. I don't want to be tipped out of balance. I'm going to look at life from a higher perspective so I can heal. And they put in that work and effort to take this leap of faith to get more balance within themselves. In their Capricorn nature, they put in the work and effort to free themselves from their whatever issues they had, which could be codependency, want for stability, want for being in a relationship. But when they end up finding themselves in something that they thought their dream was going to come into reality, and then they're feeling juggled, it's like, wait a minute. People don't seem to be who they said they were. People seem to being two-faced or not really willing to act in truth and love. And, then we kind of have to look at ourselves like, why was I drawn and attracted? Did I not listen to my intuition when I took this job, when I got in this relationship? Was I defensive of listening to my intuition? Had I not learned to love myself? Did I need to heal? Had I not learned to love myself and be inspired within myself to expand my perception of myself and what I believe is possible? Did I need to look at life from a different perspective and expand my perception of myself and what I believe is possible? And when we find ourselves in situations like this, are we willing to get out of our ego, not continue to stay stubborn? Well, I'm going to stay in this because my worldly standards, it looks great. It looks like I'm victorious. It looks like I got it going on. But I feel like I'm being juggled. I feel like I'm not very balanced, like I really haven't picked a path. And that's when, whether it's in a workplace, a friendship, or a relationship, the high vibe people still are motivated to have hope and faith and belief in their dreams, and they're not willing to settle for just the worldly illusion of look how wonderful and successful my life is. Look how happy we are. You know, they don't, they want to not keep feeling imbalance going back and forth within themselves. I want to feel stable and grounded within myself. I want to free myself from my own fears, my own insecurities, my own self limiting beliefs. And I'm willing to take that leap of faith and invest the energy and effort to have hope and faith and belief in myself that I don't have to keep living my life like this, that I can get balance within myself, but I have to be willing to speak my truth and detach from some things I need to detach from. If I did make my life more about money or materialism instead of knowing my worth and value, it was throwing me out of balance. I'm more than what I wear and what I drive and how much money I have. I have an emotionally spiritual nature to myself. I want to have more balance in my life. I want to be in relationships with people who are more balanced. And sometimes when we find ourselves in situations where it isn't what we thought it was going to be, part of the whole reason, we come in contact with all these different people to help us get clear about our truth. And at one point in time, we could have thought making our life maybe more about the world and the ego and the image and all that stuff was the most driving factor in our life. But then, we heal, we grow, we mature. We could kind of be hiding with these cards not showing themselves, that we could have gotten ourselves in jobs and relationships or living our life in a way that wasn't fulfilling and making us happy, or that was toxic or unhealthy, where we have a bossy or controlling boss, or a petty or envious or jealous or competitive boss, prideful boss, but the job seems great and I really don't want to leave it. And so for a while we can stay in jobs, friendships, and relationships, even though we could kind of be hiding from the world that this isn't really what I love, but it pays well. I am in a relationship and maybe I've been kind of in codependent energy and I wanted to be in a relationship. And that's something I need to work on within myself, to be more independent within myself, to know my worth and value, that I don't want to be in a relationship just to be in a relationship. I want to be in a relationship based on love. And I need to do that work within myself to believe that I deserve those things, and knowing my worth and value, so I don't stay in jobs and relationships and friendships that are unhealthy for the wrong reasons. And so the other people did this work within themselves to free themselves from the things that were manipulating them. And some of the people that they worked with or were in friendships or relationships with, they weren't willing to do that work. Some people don't, the truth sets us free to live our life differently, and some people don't want to see the truth. They might not want to see the truth that maybe they are more aligned with their more worldly nature, that maybe they are more materialistic than they like to admit that they are. Maybe they are kind of unhealthy in a relationship. Maybe they're lazy or bossy or controlling or selfish or self-centered, and they don't want to see the truth of that either. Maybe they keep living their life a certain way because they hide that they have people in their life that kind of manipulate and control them. And they are codependent on those people to make them feel more stable and grounded. There's something some people that are in shadowy energy right now are not willing to walk away from. And it could just be people in their life. It could be their original family. They're kind of codependent on them and they're not willing to be more independent of them, or their friend group or a work group. But it could just be their more fearful, insecure nature. It takes work and effort to free yourself from it. And some people don't want to put in the work and effort. I'm just going to keep living my life like this. I'm going to hide from the world. I'm going to try to present myself as a shining star in the world, like I got it going on. People should want to be in a relationship with me. But I'm going to hide the fact that I maybe do have all these fears and insecurities, that I do have a lot of healing and growing and maturing to do, but I'm kind of too prideful to admit maybe I have healing and growing and maturing to do. And maybe I'm really just more about myself. And maybe I'm a fool for the world. And maybe I indulge myself in my more immature, prideful, egotistical nature. And maybe because I do think I have these things of the world, that there's people who are willing to be in a relationship with me. And if they're willing to kind of juggle their dreams to stay in a relationship with me because of these things of the world or because of their own fears or insecurities or codependent nature, then I guess we're on the same page. And as long as those people don't do the work within themselves to free themselves from the things that manipulate them, I guess we'll keep moving forward in a relationship where we juggle and neither one of us have picked a path. And sometimes that's just where people are. They haven't picked a path. I can't decide. Is love more important, or is my fear or insecurity more important, or my defensive nature more important, that I'm not willing to do love and be more authentic or vulnerable? Am I more interested in love, or am I more about money and materialism? And the whole thing is to find a balance. Hopefully we find people, you know, we learn lessons in life where, we want to be in relationships with people who are like balanced within themselves. People who are enlightened to the truth that, the fives can talk about balance. It's not too much. There's a maximum of 10. So it's not too much in the head versus the heart, our passionate nature versus our worldly nature. It's about balance. I want to be in relationships with people who are balanced, that put work and effort to have stability and security in their life and enjoy some of the finer things in life, but they're also loving and nurturing and treat other people the way they like to be treated. And I guess with 2 Capricorn cards down here, again, it can be people who are prideful, who don't want to see the truth, that they have some lessons to learn in life. And pride comes before the fall. And some people are unwilling to admit that they have lessons to learn. And it could be that they juggle people and they don't really want to pick a path. And it could be that they have this inner conflict within themselves. They can't decide what's important to them. Is it love? Is it this? Is it this? Is it that? We got to make choices in life. And it requires us to walk away from one choice to make another choice. And some people just have all this inner conflict and they can't decide what choice they want to make. It's like, well, you stay in your inner conflict and can't decide. I do know what I want. And I want to be in loving, nurturing, stable, grounded, inspired, enlightening relationships. People who have picked a path. I choose truth and love, and I want to be in relationships with other people who choose truth and love. And if you can't decide, then you can go juggle someone else. What is coming up? That's too many. What's coming up for the people? Oh, I guess I never turned down the camera so you can see the cards. What's coming up for the people who harness a more high vibe Capricorn energy that they might not see coming up? The Four of Cups, the Ten of Pentacles, the Six of Wands, the Two of Pentacles, and the Strength card, because of the Ten of Swords. The tens talk about completion of a cycle. So I think for some people that are just getting out of a situation like this and have had to stop offering and investing in someone who they initially had viewed them as being stable and grounded and somebody they wanted to work together with in a job, friendship, or relationship. And they realized they've come into some truth and enlightenment that I can't stay there. And I need to end this. And I can't maybe keep investing in aligning with my more worldly nature and operating from my ego, because it's stopping me from having my dreams come into reality. So whether it's within us and other people, it starts within us. So we have to learn to love ourselves and believe in ourselves and look at life differently. We need to quit investing in our more egoic, worldly nature if we've realized that living our life like that is causing us inner conflict and we don't find it as emotionally fulfilling as we thought it would be. And that's when we're enlightened to the truth that it's about love. And it's about realizing I want maybe a more balanced life and relationships and workplaces. So they detach from that. They do this work within themselves. And while they're doing that work within themselves, they complete a cycle. And when we complete the Ten of Swords, we come out with the Ace of Swords of truth, which is that, wow, as I go through this process of loving myself and believing in myself, I could have had some inner conflict of walking away from something because I could have been afraid that I'd miss an opportunity in love. But if we were offering love to someone and that person wasn't taking that cup of love or offering us love in return, we have to realize and see the truth. I'm going to have to offer that cup of love to myself because other people aren't taking it or other people aren't reciprocating it. And this is over. And I need to put in the work and effort from love to free myself, to get out of my ego about it, that not everybody's on the same page as me at any given moment in time. And I'm not going to stay in my ego about it. People who are open to giving and receiving love would give and receive love. People who are free from other things in their life that they're committed to or have loyalty to and we're ready to move forward in life differently would. So they're not. I accept it. I'm not going to be in my ego about it. And I'm going to be inspired to do this work within myself, to get balance within myself and temper my fears and insecurities about detaching from something, because I am ready to move forward in life differently with people who are on the same page as me. And then I think as people do this work within themselves and people see that other people like yourself are moving forward like this, and you're not indulging in your more prideful, egotistical, immature, indulgent, lustful, greedy nature, you're tempering your more worldly nature and you're maintaining this balance within yourself and taking stable, grounded, creative, inspired, balanced action in your life, there's going to be other people who are going to want to be in friendships and relationships with you and hire you because they've been looking for people who are like that because they've dealt with people who are in the shadowy energy before too. And I think you're going to move forward victoriously because you're taking action in your life from a place of truth and love to guide you instead of fear or insecurity or pride or ego. So, what's coming up for the people who are still operating from a little more worldly or shadowy Capricorn energy? And I think other people who would like to be in a relationship with you, some of them have been waiting for you to get enlightened to the truth. These people are shadowy, or the way you've been living your life. I don't want anything to do with it if you're still in your inner conflict about the past or you haven't healed. And some people could want to be in a relationship with you, but they're waiting for you to do all this work within yourself. And then when you do this work within yourself, well, then they're willing to make you an offer to move forward with you, because people don't want to get in relationships with other people who are still hung up on something else, or they haven't healed, or they're still in their ego about something. When you're done being in your ego about it and you've healed from it and you're ready to move forward, then I'll come make you an offer. And you could be the same way with other people. I'm going to move forward in my life, and until I see that people are enlightened to the truth, I'm not investing in a relationship with them. I've already invested in people who had inner conflict and were prideful and egotistical and indulgent. That didn't work out, and I've already seen the truth of it. So until other people also get out of being in that energy, you also don't want to be in a relationship with them. I'm going to move on. I'll put work and effort into myself and my friends and my family and my job and my career, or anyone else that seems to be on the same page as me. But I can't build this foundation with other people who are still stuck and not enlightened to the truth and haven't healed. I wish you peace, but I'm moving on. So what's coming up for the people who are kind of tipped out of balance? The Emperor and the Queen of Wands, because of the Star card. Some of them never free themselves from their prideful, egotistical, worldly, competitive nature. They keep taking action out of pride and ego and competitiveness and vengefulness, and all because they don't want to maybe admit they have lessons to learn in life. And they maybe just don't view life any differently. And if they're really caught up in the world, they could think there is no higher truth or justice to aspire to. The most important thing is what the world tells you will make you look victorious. So they make their life all about these things of the world. So they never free themselves. They never look at life from a higher perspective. They don't make good decisions in their life. They don't ever, they're not inspired by life-giving energy. For some reason, they gave up on believing in their dreams maybe a long time ago. And they make a lot of decisions out of ego. So they thought other people would make decisions out of ego and would be more tempted by the world and the things of the world and by them. And they're shocked that some of the high vibe people in their life are like, I'm not all about you. This job, this relationship, whatever, isn't the end all be all in my life. You're just a person who might be kind of full of yourself, or you might be a person who's attractive or has status or image or money or social clout. Happy for you. But I have a different dream. And the dream you have is different than the dream I have. And I do have hope and faith and belief in myself. And I am going to make good decisions in my life to choose to be in life-giving energy. And I'm going to listen to my intuition to guide me, not my fear, not my insecurity, not my ego. And they never saw that coming. And I think you are going to have your dreams come into reality. Other people see that you are making these good decisions in your life, that you're loving and believing in yourself. You're a loving, warm, creative, inspired person who makes good decisions in your life, who looks at life from a higher perspective. And there's other people who value that. Some of these other people didn't value it because they're so full of themselves or so defensive to love and being hurt that they keep operating from their self-protective egoic nature. It's like, well, enjoy your life, but I'm going to go get in relationships with the other people who choose to be authentically themselves in the world, to be loving and warm, who've looked at life from a higher perspective, who've learned lessons in life. High vibe emperor is people, male or female, who've learned all these lessons, harnessing all four of the kings of the deck. And these people are unwilling to kind of grow and mature themselves in the King of Pentacles. And other people have. And so they could be shocked that some of the high vibe people in their life, whether it's their friends or siblings or whoever, wow, those people are going to manifest their dreams into reality from love, being bold and brave and confident. And these people are going to be stuck back here repeating an old pattern because they have inner conflict about seeing the truth that it is about detaching from your more worldly egoic nature to be free to live your authentic life. But you have to be willing to be enlightened to the truth. And you have to detach from investing in your more worldly self nature to make it about growing and maturing yourself so you can work cooperatively with others in joy and celebration. But some people are so used to emotionally investing in just themselves, because shadowy Capricorn is like the devil, which is all about ourself, and shadowy Aries is about the self. And some of these people are just all about themselves, very egotistical and self-centered, and they then think everybody else that they get in a relationship should make it all about them. Like, I don't know, some of you could have been dealing with a narcissist. Another thing they might not see coming is there could be someone who does want to be in a relationship with them, who might present themselves as being this inspired by like passion and creativity, and like they're loving and warm and nurturing, but they also might be in shadowy Aquarius energy, just like this person. And it's kind of that thing, we reap what we sow. And if they're rejecting their loving nature and rejecting loving people, and they're aligning with their more worldly, egoic nature, that's kind of what they're manifesting in their life. And they might get someone who comes into their life that wants to be in a relationship with them because of the ego and the image and the status. But that person also, shadowy Aries, might be all about themselves. Shadowy Leo might be kind of prideful and egotistical and manipulative, and maybe bossy and controlling. And they think people should do things their way, and they should be the center of attention. And the whole thing is trying to get people maybe to look at themselves in the mirror. It's like, oh shit, is that how I was in a relationship? Yes, that was how you were in a relationship. How do you like you now? Maybe that's enough to make them realize that. And then also they get in a relationship with someone who's all motivated and inspired by looking like a boss in the world and having the status and the image. And it's like, really? Is this what you want? Kind of relationship you want? People who are defensive, that would be shadowy Knight of Swords, to the truth that it's supposed to be about love, who also juggle people? Really? Is that how you want to live your life? You have the free will to come together with others in joy and celebration and love, but you choose this? And some people do, because that's what's most important to them. And they could stay in those relationships because the other people aren't requiring them to grow or heal or mature or look at life any differently, and they don't want to do any of that anyway. I'm happy looking like a shining star in the world. That's the most important thing to me. And if they can find someone who's on the same page as them, well, then that's a just and fair relationship. They should be in relationships with people who have the same viewpoint. It's an injustice for them to try to get people who are more loving and nurturing and hopeful, believing in love, to give up that dream and settle for this more worldly, egoic way of life that they live. It's like we're not on the same page. And the high vibe people left. And the high vibe people are wanting to go get in relationships with people who are on the same page as them, so that there's like balance and justice in the world. The people who should be in relationship with together are in relationship with people who are like them. So the divine is always trying to bring balance to the world. We just need to see the truth. When people show us that they're not on the same page as us, we need to get out of our ego about it and our inner conflict about detaching from them and loving and believing in ourselves, that we can manifest our dream into reality. But we can all get tempted to want to stay in situations because they have those things of the world that we really want. But it's just not love. It's like, well, you got free will. You can stay in it if you want, or you can say, I'm not someone who's going to stay in this. This is not my truth. And I do love and believe in myself. And I am going to deal with my inner conflict. And I'm going to deal with the fact that I could have loved someone who views life differently. And I'm going to wish the whole situation peace and love so that I can move on and detach from it and go find the people in the world who are on the same page as me. So there you go, Capricorn energy. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.